Okay, so this is not really an instructional video. This is just something of pure joy. We've been working on this tenor viola da gamba since the pandemic, a long time. This is supposed to be just for me. I'm not sure. It's kind of an underdog instrument, as you may know. Tenor, viola da gambas. There is no solo repertoire for them, so no one wants to play the tenor. This is a really big tenor gamba, so the concept was that I want to make a really nice tenor gamba for myself. Just for me, not you. So yeah, this is a different kind of varnishing because I'm not using any color treatment. It's just going to start with clear because I'm using sapelli, which is an African mahogany. Hold on, the music's too loud. By the way, the music is Hermanas Benitez, and we like them. Which sister would... It's really hard to choose. Anyway, so yeah, back to sapelli. Sapelli is very common where I am in Galicia because it is anti-carcoma or woodworm. So it's everywhere. If you look behind me, that slab is sapelli, and I bought a bunch of slabs of it because I love it. It smells sort of like, it's a mahogany, but it's an African mahogany. And I have Wikipedia here actually because this is really interesting. It comes from a port city, Sapelli in Africa. But it says, the name of the city itself is said to be an Anglicization or a British thing. Why can't I speak? Anglicization of the Urhobo word Uriapelli, commemorating a local deity. This is really cool. It is believed the British colonial authorities changed the name of the hamlet to Sapelli as it was easier to pronounce. So this wood was named after a god. I mean, that is cool, right? I love sapelli. I mean, it kind of smells like cinnamon and cedar. And the reason I'm recording this is you're not really going to learn anything. It's just going to be cool, I think. I don't know. I've never varnished sapelli before. The top is cedar, and I've got these... You can hear that? Yeah. The top is cedar, which is just Canadian cedar. And so actually this instrument came from me just wanting to use the top. I was like, I have to use that for something. And it was the pandemic. So anyway, this instrument is dedicated to Jose Vasquez of the Orpheon Consort sadly before he passed away. He gave me the dimensions of the original tenor in the Orpheon Consort collection. So, without further ado, I'm just using straight shellac. Yeah, this is a little thick, and I can go thick because I'm not doing any color treatments. I might try to do. I might try to match the top a little bit with the red because I don't know what's going to happen here. This is amazing. I'm like really happy right now. All right, so here we go. Yeah. Yes. I still need to be careful because this is a little thick. But another thing is that sapelli has to be sanded. You can do some scraping, but I think when I start on the back, you'll see that it's just like, yeah, okay, so this varnish is a little too thick. I can feel it dragging. But wow, that's looking good. Yeah. Unfortunately, we have the Putasol. I'm going to cut this varnish a little bit. It's a little thick, and you know what? I'm just gonna cut the jar itself. This is what I'm using, because I'm gonna use all of this. Yeah. So the point I was making is that Sapelli is really hard to work with. Like if you see on the back, the grain is like, you'll see in a second, the grain is all swirling and crazy. I don't know. I'm just doing a cold varnish. I'm not cooking it, not filtering it. Okay, that's fine. I could have kept going, but viscosity of varnish is something you have to feel. Well, I mean, I could write down the exact ratio, but that's not really the way I work. So yeah. Oh. Okay, that's feeling a little better. But yeah, the reason that it's going to suck so much is that it's really, I had no choice but to sand this wood, you know. I'm really not sure what's going to happen. I've never done this before. I mean, if an alien pops out of this instrument, don't be surprised. So I'm starting with just alcohol, you know. This is just going to be a clear alcohol varnish. You know what? That could be even thinner. Yeah, I've never done this, but man, look at that. No color. All right, let's just do the back because this is just so much fun. So, yeah, that's another problem, is that you can't really see your tool marks very well either, so wow, that is, it's really dark. I wasn't expecting it to be so dark. So really, you don't need any color. This is actually a little concerning how dark it is. Yeah, so I don't know if you can see the swirls of wood. You know what? I think I need to go. It's just really strange thing to varnish. I'm sure there's some guitar makers out there right now who are like, yeah, you dumbass. You're doing it all wrong, because I know guitar makers use Sapelli. Yeah, it just sucks the varnish so crazily, like unevenly, and that's another thing. Is the Putasol is here. I mean, it's fine actually, because there's no, I don't have to see the color, but wow, that. Yeah, so it like sucks really unevenly. But I think that's going to be fine. I mean, it's to be expected that your wood will suck a little unevenly at the beginning, but I mean, do you see these like swirls? I don't know if the camera is showing like these like swirls, and I mean the grain just has no cutting direction, you know, like, and And this was a 50 millimeter slab. So, this was I did the back during the pandemic, and I remember thinking, like, this is a crazy ass thing to do. Like, only a completely mentally ill person would cut a 50 millimeter slab. And originally I thought, I'm gonna do a flat back tenor, but I don't really like flat back viola di gambas. I certainly don't like English flat back gambas because they tend to sound kind of crispy and sort of like, you know, when you have a consort of gambas and they're all crispy, this is no fun, you know? It's like, so the concept for this gamba was like soulful, deep, like the poor underdog tenor that no one wants to play, you know? And I'm like, I'll play tenor gamba, hell yeah. But, you know, I'm gonna do my own terrible music with it, you know? I won't be doing 17th century consort music. I'll be doing mentally ill person music. But anyway, wow, okay. That is just, you don't need any color. It's done, right? That's the cool thing. So, the cut, I mean, with the first layer, it's actually really uneven, but you can see the difference between what's not varnished and what's varnished. So let's do the top. This is really fun. It's like, hey! I mean, there are times I'm being really careful because I do not want scratches. This is not going to be antiqued. I may have to do some antiquing because it's really rustic. This instrument is really rustic, like the workmanship is rustic. So now we're gonna hear, who are we gonna hear? Oh, our favorite guy. We love this guy. We love Carlos. Yay. Buenos Aires. Yeah, I mean, there are times that in this job where you just want to cry. Tears are very common in this house. But this is a point, this is a day where you're just like, yeah. So let's do the top. And I've varnished cedar before, so it's not really a problem, but I'm worried that there are going to be some glue ghosts because I don't know what you were doing during the pandemic, but I was doing inlay, you know. The original, that's a nice brown. We love cedar. The original instrument is the Fratelli Grancinos, or Grancino, I never get that right. And they did not have a lot of patronage, the brothers. The Grancino family, or Grancino, I believe it's Grancino, I've done so many copies because I love all of the instruments from every. Okay, so we have some tool marks here that are starting to bother me, but let's just keep going. But I've never done anything by the brothers, and this is a little bit later. You have Giovanni, you have like the grandfather. It's like a whole family, but they. Later on, I guess it was Francesco and what are their names? I should know this. They did this just very plain tenor gamba that Jose Vasquez bought, I think, for a song. He paid nothing for it, and I was like, well, I love this instrument. And I want to do something where, like, let's pretend that the brothers had a lot of time and a lot of money. So let's do crazy ornaments. Let's do, you know, the viola di gamba is supposed to have, the music is supposed to represent the greatness of the human spirit, you know. It's supposed to, you know, represent beauty and this sort of Renaissance ideal of beauty. In my mind, I don't know what when you listen to viola di gamba, what you think. But you probably don't listen to tenor gambas because no one wants to play a tenor. I'm like, I'll play tenor. Oh, and you can see this is a big tenor gamba, so I really need to pay attention to what I'm doing here. So cedar just sucks the varnish up more than the Haselfichte or any other wood. Oh, but that is a nice brown. Look at that. So, anyway, where was I getting to? Yeah, if you're gonna use cedar for your top, and this is Canadian, this is just your run-of-the-mill Canadian cedar. I would really like to try using Western red cedar. So if you're in Canada, contact me. I'm just kidding. I have so many friends in Canada, it's ridiculous. I have so many instruments in Canada, it's ridiculous. Like, they all go to Canada. I'm like, why? Because of Ryan. I'm just kidding. Thank you, Ryan. Wow. I mean, that brown. You don't need to do any color. So, okay, I'm varnishing with the fingerboard on, obviously. Yeah, so I keep losing track of what I'm telling you. If you want to use cedar, you need to go really thick because it's actually very brittle. And I wouldn't say that it's fragile, but if you did, let's say you did a thin bent top on cedar, it would crack, you know. I mean, I don't know, I really don't know. So I actually have like 9 here, believe it or not, 9 millimeters. And around the center is something around 7 millimeters in the sound post area. And I can't remember, actually. I'd have to look with a mirror. I may have a little sound post patch just to be careful. But look at that brown. Look at that brown together with the yeah, like there are times when I hate this job. Literally, I've thought about quitting. I've been doing this for almost 30 years, and I always ask my friends, like, doesn't it make you angry that I have to make instruments? You know, like, wouldn't you rather see me composing or doing Kunst or doing you know, carving wooden naked women or something? But no, on days like today, this is just a joy, an absolute joy to do. So let me focus for a minute. I need to get under this fingerboard. So yeah, again, the point I was making is that I'm trying a sort of high tension setup on this. So you can see the projection is pretty high. And this is the bridge, actually. So it's a pretty high bridge. And yeah, so I can easily get the brush under here. Hold on a second. We got some nastiness going on. I really need to focus on what I'm doing. I'm having such a great time. It was a little bit uneven right here in this area. But I think that's just I think it's just the fact that it's sucking it up. And also I glued the fingerboard, and I didn't burnish underneath, so it's sucking it kind of uneven, but in the end, I think it's gonna be fine. So, yeah. Yeah, I'll do the scroll, and then I think we're done. I mean, this is just for fun. Yeah, so once the color is, once I have, I'm doing oil at the end, but I'll go ahead and do the scroll. Oh, so the scroll is actually, the neck and scroll is actually black wood. Yeah, yes. Yeah, so that's gonna suck it up. I go ahead and varnish into my neck because later I remove. Wow, okay, that is so cool. That's black wood. So that matches the ribs really well. Oh yeah. First time ever varnishing black wood. That is nice. That is nice. So it's, I could have done a little bit more finishing here on the scroll. There's a little bit of nastiness going on under the eye here. So the thing is the whole instrument is kind of rustic. So like a few tool marks here and there are okay. Okay, now this is going to be the fun part. I did these ornaments on the back, but it's really hard to see. And they're pretty rustic, but so there's the color of the just clear varnish on black wood. Yeah. So another thing I was thinking about is just I'm only going to do gambas and cellos, and only going to use freaky woods. So I need to focus here a little bit. I cannot talk to you. Actually, I need my glasses because I'm an old man. So yeah, wow, okay. I'm really happy with this, yeah. I was a little worried, like I wanted to leave this inlay kind of, not inlay, but this kind of relief carving rustic because I really like the look of it, sort of. I mean, the whole instrument is just such a weird instrument that I didn't want it to be perfectly fine and perfectly. I wanted it to be kind of, like an underdog. It's the underdog. It's the COVID pandemic underdog tenor gamba. And oh my God, look at that. Jose Catarilla gave me this neck, this blackwood neck. Bless his soul. Let me just do the heel really quick. Yeah. Oh, that is just a beautiful thing. That is a beautiful thing. I'll show you in a minute, but this is just, I'm having so much fun with this. I should really go a little bit slower. It looks like but I can always strip this with alcohol. Yeah? Wood loves alcohol. I don't know about these woods, but I mean, it's just sucking so strangely and unevenly. I gotta be careful. Careful. Careful, cat. The other day I was crossing the street and I was so into my music and my thoughts that I nearly just like walked right into the street, like. And then I thought to myself, careful. All right, I'm getting some, I need to stop because I'm actually getting some unevenness here. This varnish is still a little bit thick too. Yeah, okay. Now, in the end, it's going to be fine, but... So, yeah, that's what the relief looks like. Wow. And the scroll is really freaky. You may be saying, you're using ivory, you bastard. But this is totally legal ivory from 1900. It's actually from a woman's hairbrush handle, you know, and I have photos to prove it. I would never, ever, I love elephants, come on. We love animals and elephants. Unless you were born as a cheeseburger, you got nothing to worry about with me. But if you grew up as a cheeseburger and all of a sudden you ran into me, you're in trouble. But anyway, we're gonna end this video. And I'm gonna keep varnishing, but I don't want to bore you. This came from a hairbrush handle, and from 1900. So you think about a woman brushed her hair every day, probably. I don't know how many times a day. In the 1900s, or probably 1910. So. You know, ivory back then was pretty common, and so anything that is before 1970s and before sites, that's illegal. So I would never ever use, you know. But this is legal ivory, you know, and so I don't know. That's just cool, you know. Who was this woman, and what did she look like? You know, most importantly, is her great granddaughter single? Because wouldn't you like to know that your your grandmother's hairbrush will be used for the next 500 years on an underdog, tenor gamba. So there you have it. That's just that's just one layer. Once we get more, I might do another video of. We're going to add Jose Cataria's oil varnish on the top, and towards the end it's just going to pop. I may try and do some color treatment to make this a little bit more red, so we don't have this going on, because obviously we have red, brown, which is probably okay. I mean, no, I may wow. Muy bien.